Welcome to what is anticipated to be a very quick salty takeaways because there won't necessarily be a whole lot of those or bitter ends after the 3-0 win for Atlanta United over the purple team. Call them whatever you like, but we'll just say the purple team here on the morning after the 3-0 win over Orlando City. Goals by George Campbell, and we'll get into that. Also, an own goal from Daryl Dike off of a set piece from Ezequiel Barco. And then Barco with the third on the board, making it 3-0. Let's get into some of the numbers, courtesy of our friends at SofaScore. And looking at your starting lineup, Gonzalo Pineda said that it was two false nines. It was Ezequiel Barco, Marcelino Moreno, Luis Araujo up front. Barco punched an 8.1 on the evening with his goal. Marcelino Moreno, 7.7. Araujo is 7.6. And if the shot that he took in the first couple of minutes from distance had gone in off of that educated left foot, the roof probably would have come off the building, hit the post flush, and it would have been a fantastic start in the first tally in Araujo's wallet for his tenure with Atlanta United. So Araujo at a 7.6, your midfield four, Jake Mulroney, Santi Sosa, Matheus Rossetto, and Brooks Lennon. Jake Mulroney coming back from injury had a 6.6. Santi Sosa with a yellow card dropped to a 7.1. Rossetto with an even 7. Brooks Lennon with a 6.9. Your back three of Anton Walkes, Alan Franco, George Campbell with a goal. Campbell had a 7.9 with a yellow. Alan Franco a 7.1. Anton Walkes a flat 7. And Brad Guzan a 7.4. Looking at some of the statistics on the evening, in the overall, Atlanta United had 55% of the possession, 18 total shots to 8 for Orlando City, 5 of the shots on target, and they actually had 5 of their shots blocked on the night, 4-3 in corners, 3 offside calls, 13-12 in fouls for Orlando City, 3 yellow cards, as we've mentioned, and 1 for Orlando City. All of the chance category leaning Atlanta United's way. 3 big chances, 1 hit the woodwork. We talked about that with Araujo. 2 counters, 2 shots off of counters, 6 shots inside the box, which meant that 12 were outside the box, 3 saves for Adam Grinwis compared to 2 for Brad Guzan. 491 to 394 in total passes on the night. Atlanta United passing at an 88% efficiency, 431 of 491, completing 61% of their long balls at 38 of 62. For Orlando City, it was 18 of 36 and 326 of 394, passing at an 83% clip. Not a whole lot of crosses on the night with the action that we saw from Atlanta United. 2 of 8 compared to 4 of 17 for Orlando City. On the dribble, Atlanta United had 11 completed dribbles, 11 of 23 on the night, compared to 6 complete dribbles for Orlando City. Orlando City lost possession 117 times to 105. Atlanta United won the duels, 49 of 92 in total. But Orlando City won the aerial battle with 10 of 18. Atlanta United, fiercely defensive, 17 tackles to 16, 11 interceptions to only 3, and had 13 clearances on the day compared to 7 for Orlando City. When you look at the standings now in the East, you look at what is up for Atlanta United now, and Atlanta United just outside the playoff picture on statistics. And that's the only way that they are out of it. And when it comes to numbers and goal difference, they are on the same number of points as DC United is. But when you look at the individual numbers, Atlanta United, 30 points per game at 1.3, goal difference of 0 compared to DC's +3, and a points per game average of 1.36. But Atlanta United is a win, 3 points in theory out of 5th. And they are 8 points away from Orlando, who is in 2nd place and ahead of Nashville in 3rd place with 38 points on games won, and also Nashville with a match in hand. New England running away with it right now with 52 points at 16-4-4. Orlando 38 points, 23 matches played at 10-5-8. Points per game average, Nashville 173 to 165. They are in 3rd with 9 wins in 22 matches, 11 draws on the year, 8-0-6 at home. NYC is 4th at 34 points. Philadelphia is at 32. Montreal at 31. And DC is at 30. Below Atlanta right now in 9th is Columbus at 27 points. Miami is at 26. Chicago is at 23. New York Red Bulls at 22. Cincinnati, who's coming in next to Mercedes-Benz in the midweek, they are at 17 points. And Toronto, dead last in the East, at 15 points. As promised, what we always like to do is check into what your thoughts were when it came to the Twitters and your instant thoughts after the match last night. And a lot of you had some things to say. We always like to thank each and every one of you for diving in and letting us know what's on your mind in these situations. So let's go back into the timeline and go through what you guys thought last night. South Georgia says that Campbell is our Robinson replacement if he's sold, our Franco replacement if not renewed, and should the USMNT call-ups ASAP. And for those that have had the opportunity to see George Campbell with Atlanta United too and see his growth and his progression, not necessarily a surprise that you're seeing someone who's not intimidated by his surroundings, completely and totally engaged and knows what he's asked to do. And when you're trying to handle someone that is as big and as fluid as George Campbell is offensively, it can create problems. When you see someone who is as stout defensively, not intimidated by what's going on around him and can handle what's going on, it's been great to see George Campbell's progression to where he is now, and he will be a stalwart in MLS once he's getting all of those regular minutes. Brock Perry. Jarrett was a proud papa tonight. Someone get him a quote, MAS George Campbell t-shirt. MAS, my adult son. I think that's probably definitely something that we need to consider when it comes to Atlanta United. So definitely the MAS t-shirts might be how things are lining up. When you're also looking at Dr. Danielle at Fem Football ATL, she's not wrong. They're sweet takeaways tonight. They're not necessarily salty. Waffle, the FC Waffle felt Miranda was a little selfish with his chances tonight, had better options the majority of the time versus shooting. But, once again, a Waffle, if I'm understanding where you're coming from, I think that what we saw early on from shots from distance, and it was a way to challenge Adam Grinwis. And we'll get into Orlando's numbers, courtesy of our friends at SofaScore in just a little bit. But the larger thought here is that if you see an opening, take it, because for all intents and purposes, Adam Grinwis was the fourth keeper for Orlando City. And if you want to challenge him in these situations to see how he is or is not adjusting to what's going on, there are times where he looked a little skittish, a little unsure of himself. And you want to challenge in these situations. And, so if you see an opportunity, take it, challenge and sit there and see what happens. So, and also when you're looking at Marcelino Moreno, that there's going to be that kind of positional gravity as well. And when you have a front line of Araujo, Barco, and Moreno, it's going to have to be pick your poison at sometimes. And if you see an opportunity, the bottom line is for me right now, take it, especially with a fourth string keeper. And Ellabelle, the team actually played with some swagger for the first time in so long. They looked comfortable and creative, and they did. And so it was a fun watch, and especially I'm sure that it makes it even that much more fun when you're putting 3 on the board against Orlando City. Kevin from Charlotte, one word, good, not wrong. David at Who Took My Thrash. No salty takeaways here. Campbell's really good in passing out of the back. Feels like when Araujo gets one, many will follow. A strong showing right there with you. Domer wants to know if Joseph is going to get another Orlando video tonight as the fathering continues. And Domer also mentioned with what he saw from Orlando City when Sylvester Vandevader isn't playing for #OFYO. He spends his off time acting for Disney, most well known as Sleazy Weasel and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, complete with the picture of Sleazy Weasel. So that's a reference pretty much in my wheelhouse, Domer. So thank you for that particular reference. Mike Conti on his Twitter account posted some numbers with the breakdown last night. Shots 18-8 Atlanta, shots on target 5-2, possession 55-45. Key pass is something we haven't gotten into yet. 15-6 Atlanta, and your XG 1.6, and this is if you believe in XG, 1.6 to 0.3 for Atlanta. And so using the hashtag of fathering, I think it was safe to say on this evening that he was not wrong. Emilio Corsi, nothing to complain about other than we're in yellow card hell, something that we'll have to keep an eye on. And with yellow cards going forward. Day at Guy Decatur. Given our talent and how the Sounders line up, I'm guessing we'll frequently come out with three center backs. Problem is, how do you rank them after Miles? Lennon is solid, but I would have Brooks is more of a winger or a wing back. But is there anyone else that could line up at right mid? Feel like it'd be fun to see Jake on the right, George on the left. So the way that I would look at this Day is think of your attacking numbers from the opposition. And the golden rule that Jason has always put with me is always have one more in defense than they do in attack. And so there won't be games where you'll have three center backs in their entirety, but it just depends on how many guys are going to be in attack from the absolute beginning. If they're going to put two up front, then you're going to want three center backs. If it's only going to be one up top, go with two. So just keep that as a guidepost when it comes to the games with Atlanta United. And remember, with the back line, you didn't have Ronald Hernandez because he's coming back from international duty. And so the pieces are going to be there. Just remember also that with your international absences, you didn't have everyone at full strength. George Bello coming back, he did get some minutes, but once again, just when everyone comes back and everyone's healthy, then you can sit there and go from there. Right mid, like I said, Brooks Lennon to me is more of a right wing back and can play right back, but that's how I look with that. Jake Mulroney, what we've seen with Jake is that whether he's on the right-hand side on right wing or on left wing, he gives you that speed option, and he's worked well with Brooks Lennon on the right-hand side at times. But once again, you're going to go with your firepower up top. Once Joseph returns, it'll be Joseph, Barco, Araujo, Moreno, and then you're filling in from there with the guys at the back. So just keep all of that in mind, Day as we keep going forward. And Day also posted a poll in the SDH timeline. Let's see, scanning through quickly. I think we might have caught up. Michael Valverde coming in. So excited to be able to attend an Atlanta United match. The team bosses that game from the kick on the front foot and yet totally sound defensively. Truly complete the performance. Congrats, Gonzo Pineda on the first of many. Michael, the question, when will all of Araujo's hard work pay off in a goal? Has to be in this homestand, right? From your lips to everyone else listening. And also, so good to see all the returns to the pitch net last night. Welcome back, Sosa, Jake Mulroney, Mo Adams getting in a couple of minutes, Alex DeJohn, depth for the end run. Loving that they all got minutes. I'll second you there. The brilliant wrinkle of a center back making a random run into the box to score a clinical header is a new one, something that we should expect to see more often. Is that something we should expect to see more often under Gonzalo Pineda? We've seen that with Miles. We've seen that with Anton. So I think that what you're looking at with your center backs is that if there's an opportunity, and we've seen it with George Campbell with the twos, with his dribbling, is that if there is space in front of you, if there's an opportunity, go ahead, dive in and take it. So that's, I think, just once again, something to keep an eye on. You know, we've seen it on set pieces, but once again, in the run of play, if something is there, and what George did going in between two Orlando defenders, once again, with his size and with his strength and power, he has those kinds of opportunities. So just keep an eye on those kinds of things going forward. But it has been something that we've seen with center backs and open space. Will Secor, upon further review, I'm okay with it being an own goal, although Barco's shot was goal bound. The deflection off of Nani's head made it look like it was going wide before DK knocked it in. And Will is also suggesting that it be an MLAS t-shirt, my large adult son. Not wrong. Let's get into the Orlando numbers quickly, just for the sense of equal time and equal numbers. So in the 3-0 loss, once again, courtesy of our friends at SofaScore, their lineup was outscored on the whole 7.16 to 6.47. Let's look at how they thought it was going to be. Daryl Dike with a 6.3 with his own goal. Nani with a 7. Andreas Pereira with a 7. Those were the highest marks on the board. Mauricio Pereira with a 6.8. Benji Michel a 6.2. Joey Desart, who has done well with absences during the international window, and he's developed into a starting role with a 6.4. Huan with a 5.8 on the night. Rough night for Huan. Antonio Carlos a 6.5. Robin Janssen a 6.4, along with João Matinho and Adam Grinwis with a 6.2. The first 11 average age there, a 26.7. On the bench, your substitutions, Kyle Smith comes in. He gets a 6.6. Ori Rosell with a 6.5, Chris Mueller a 6.4, Tesho a 6.5, and Vandevater a 6.6. I forgot to mention the subs for Atlanta United when we were looking at lineups and appearances. George Bello came in after Jake Mulroney gave 60 minutes for 30. George Bello a 6.5. Alex DeJohn a 6.5 for his 15 minutes, subbing for Anton Walks. Tyler Wolf coming in for 15 minutes, filling in for Mateus Usechu, and then Cubo Torres and Mo Adams. Good to see Mo Adams get a cup of coffee, filling in for Marcelino Moreno for the last handful of minutes, and Cubo Torres coming in for your look at Luis Araujo. So that is your breakdown of everything that we saw and everything that you guys saw when it came to Atlanta's 3-0 win over Orlando City. Big win for 3 points, just outside the playoff picture right now. And once again, only 8 points out of second, considering what this team has been doing over the last handful of matches. First win under Gonzalo Pineda, and another match to get full points in midweek. Once again, Overreaction Monday starts at 9 o'clock on the SDH Network. Thanks for hanging out with us here for Salty Takeaways. Greetings from Auburn, Alabama, as we tape this particular version. And we will be back with you on Monday, full force, to find out if there are any other reactions that you guys have when it comes to Atlanta and Orlando City. For everybody at SDH, play it safe, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the games. We'll catch up with you at the beginning of the week.